So today I'm joined by Hai from Vietnam, and he's gonna share some pretty cool insights on how is it to study in a Finnish university. Stick around. So what up, Fantastics? Welcome to another video. If you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Aleksi and I make fantastic videos about Finnish culture, lifestyle and language. So if you're into those kind of things, hit the subscribe and the bell button as well.
What's up, Fantastics? My name is Hai. I'm from Vietnam. So a little bit of background. I actually study in the same university that he graduated from, the Tampere University of Technology. And I've been here, this is actually my fourth year. I just graduated from my bachelor's and now I'm heading on to do my master's. But I started with doing bachelor's in science and engineering, so IT stuff, typical Asian. And then now I'm actually switching to international sales, a little bit different from what I did. But
all right, cool.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to come to study in Finland?
Yeah, okay. So basically there's like external and internal. Internally, when I graduated high school, I wanted to get away, right? I wanted to go to somewhere that's like as far and as weird as possible.
All right.
Because I didn't want to stay home anymore. It was getting boring, and it's a big world. So
it is.
Yeah. So and then there was Finland, and like very lucky for me that it was actually the last year that tuition fees in Finland was free for us.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got really lucky and I got that in. So yeah, thanks to that, I was like applying and I got in. So it's good.
So among the other countries that are very far from your home, why did you pick Finland?
Obviously, I heard that you guys have really good education. They do.
Yeah,
And
okay.
And then another thing, it was like, this one is kind of a bit cheeky, but I was kind of on the fence about it because clearly there are a lot of other choices where people spoke, countries where they speak English. Or someone told me like, Finnish girls are cute, and I'm like, okay, well. That seals the deal. So now I'm here.
All right, great. And I heard you have a Finnish girlfriend also nowadays.
Yes, I do.
So I think that's mission accomplished.
Well, it's a side quest.
Okay.
It's not a quest. You take that. I gotta take that out.
Was the process to apply to TUT easy, or like how was the process in general?
Actually, it's surprisingly easy. But it's a bit special situation because usually in universities, like the ones that I attended, there's not an English program. It's kind of a theoretical university. Just so happened to be that in this very year as well, they started the first English Bachelor degree.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too.
Like in the entire country. So
Finland, yeah.
So I think they were very accommodating in that sense as well because clearly I'm like a lab rat. It was nice in that sense that I get to try a lot of things. It was very new to both sides as well, but yeah, it made it very easy because I remember my grades wasn't that good, so they had us taking like an English certificate. I took IELTS, I got an 8, so it's okay, and then they had us take the SAT too as well, so like the advanced one on math and physics, and I did really bad actually. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like if you talk to any other Vietnamese kid, like they all have like 800 and 800, and it's so embarrassing. But like I got like 720 for math, and then I didn't even get 600 for physics, I think. So that was really bad. It's like I'm a disgrace, but I got in anyway. So that's why what I meant by it's surprisingly easy. But I actually hear later on that the competition within the country is actually more fierce and more scary, like domestically. So yeah, I got lucky in that sense.
Good stuff. So can you tell a little bit about the student life in Finland? How is it to be a student, and is there like fun stuff in terms of balance and stuff?
Yeah, I think first
you want to go study first.
Yeah, I want to go study first because this is an educational channel.
yeah.
But yeah, in that sense, studying wise, it's a lot of self-studying. Like you're basically learning how to learn, because here I know for a fact that in Finland, whoever goes to university, they just automatically take a master's as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So from bachelor's to master's. So in that sense, like bachelor was kind of like this foundational step where you're just kind of learning about yourself, you know. So it wasn't that difficult, but it was more about learning how to learn. the university student culture, it's definitely very, very vibrant here. You guys party a lot, like
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
okay, yeah, every week. A lot of happenings, like a lot of social events. Definitely people can get acquainted with each other really fast, and you know,
That's true. Yeah.
you get your clique in, and then you start, you know, forming groups, and then, you know, you all go on pub crawls and start drinking.
Yeah, that's how Finns get together, you know, pub crawls and stuff. Next question is, what are some of the fundamental differences between like studying in Finland and studying, for example, in Vietnam? So what are some of the big changes or differences you noticed?
I came straight out from high school, so I didn't have a chance to experience university life in Vietnam. So from what I gather, like in Vietnam, there's a lot of pressure on grades, whereas this is almost completely opposite. Like not as in like you should fail, as long as you pass, it doesn't really matter. One of my professors, literally, he said this: employers, they don't care about your grades, and actually, if they look at your transcript and they see that you get all 5, then that means you're crazy, you're a weirdo. Like you don't know how to prioritize, because here in Finland, there's like a huge emphasis on work-play balance, and I think that's really cool, and that's like something that we can very much appreciate, like anywhere else in the world, like because the mainstream and in Asia, like it's like a lot of focus on more output, more work, like the longer hours. You know, you get burnt out and you get all depressed and stuff. Like for example, Japan. Right? Japan is like the extreme case of that. It's the opposite, and it's like people like kill themselves over that. So it's intense.
I remember when I was studying as well, and we had like this saying, it's not about the grades, it's about the credits. So when you pass like a course, like 3-credit course, you get 3 credits. So it's more about the credits that you actually make progress and stuff, instead of like getting super high grades on every subject. And it's better to get higher grades on stuff that you're actually interested in, and then the less interesting, you just get the 1, like 1 to 5 is the grade like scale. So that's how I remember it.
Definitely people put a lot of emphasis on like just go through, just like going through it, like having the experience, rather than, you know, trying to go to perfection. Like that's such a difficult thing for me to wrap my head around, because, you know, in the past, like it's always like you gotta get like 90% upward. I remember, like, you know, going back home, and if I had like an 8 out of 10, like I would be nervous, because my grandparents would always like, so why didn't you get a 9? And then when I got a 9, it's like, why didn't you get a 10? So like, I think this is more practical, but definitely like it's a learning curve for me, at least.
All right, good stuff.
The second thing is just like about how little other people actually care about you. It's like help is always available from teachers and staff and, you know, friends, but it's that if you don't ask, like they're really leaving you to it, because I think the underlying goal for the whole university process is to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. So
I think that's true.
Yeah. So it's like, again, like learning how to learn. I don't know if that's like an age thing or a cultural thing, but that's just something that I notice. Like I have to get crazy, like organized, and like start to plan my calendar, which I didn't do previously. So I think that's something that's pretty cool. Cool.
And actually we have this concept of academic freedom in Finnish universities. So it means that the lectures are free to attend. In most courses they don't really care if you attend the lectures, as long as you just do everything that's required to pass the course. So like some exercises or assignments or exams. So as long as you do those, no one really cares like how you do it.
That's definitely true. Like, and that's really helpful for the days where there was a party event the day before.
That's
so
good.
It's like nobody shows up at 8 a.m. in their class. So I kind of feel bad for the lecturer, but what can you do?
Sometimes you just have these important parties and
priorities, man.
Priorities, But that's actually kind of cool. So if you want to just take some time off, or you feel like you'll learn better by studying on your own, you're completely free to do that, because no one really is limiting on how you learn and how you do the stuff in the lectures and in the courses.
When it's good, it's really good. It's just like the only problem is, don't get into that slope where you feel like you're isolated and then you never ask for help and then you just like go down and down, because like just literally like just voice a message, like a problem, there will always be solution. There's always someone gonna be like helping you.
Yeah. If you end up in a situation where you would need some help, they have actually really good resources. There's like counselors, and you can even talk to the professors. Like what I personally think, when it comes to the professors, you can talk to them as they are like your friends. You don't really have to address them like Mr. Laamanen, or you could just address them with their first name, and because that's kind of part of the Finnish culture, and that's what I think is pretty cool.
It's like seeing them hitting the gym as well, like just makes it kind of he's my bro and stuff like that. So definitely not a lot of barrier in that sense.
Great. The next question is, what kind of advice or general message would you give to the viewers who might be considering to come to study in Finland and who might be pondering like, is it a good place, or so what kind of general message would you give?
Yeah, I think it's highly contextual, but like for one, definitely it's a good place to consider regardless. So if you're a bachelor, really be open-minded, because like I said before, you're not really learning anything like that professional or that like in-depth. So it's a really good idea trying to like spend actually more time on kind of learning about yourself, kind of knowing how you work, so you can be like highly efficient and effective when it comes to the things that actually matter. And then in the meanwhile, like take in all the help, like learn where you can find resources and stuff like that. Then then it's like gonna be super good. If it's someone's from masters, then it's highly different because you already know what you want. So in that sense, I got some tips from my professor. He did give me some very nice pointer in the sense that actually you have to dial it down and be less textbooks. So what he noticed is that almost like 100% of the people in his faculty, like from his faculty, they all come through like having the same problem, is that they're too textbook based, whereas like Finland is such a country of practicality. So in that sense, like proactivity is super important. Like if you actually plan to, when it comes to masters, generally you wanna, like that's where you're like, okay, that's like the final steps to the market, to the economy. So you do want to have like that smooth transition by trying to learn what works here in terms of job opportunities and what doesn't. And I certainly think that Finland is a desirable place. You guys get paid really pretty well. So it's just good to know these things. So that's like more in terms of studying, but the general advice is socializing. This is like super important because, to be honest, you guys are not the most like open type of people. Like it's not like America or something or like South America, like Cuba, where people like go to you and be like hola and stuff like that. No, this ain't it. So you really want to also hone your connection as well, because I think in professional life, like networking, it's all about that. I think like everyone is equally smart. I think like your masters and whatnot, so your students, your university students, so I think in general you're already pretty smart. So it boils down to how much people like you, and not that you'd have to do that, but why not, like it makes life so much easier. So I have a tip for networking with Finnish people.
All right,
and
good stuff coming up.
You guys drink a lot and you're super approachable when you're drunk, so try to be there around that time. Like everyone's a bit more friendly and sociable when they're a bit intoxicated, just a little bit. So that's good. That's like really, so if you can put yourself in such a situation, it's very nice. And also you guys are very easily impressed if you learn a couple of basic words in Finnish.
Oh yeah.
And they'll be like, damn, yeah. And it just show a little bit of preparation and like a bit of appreciation. And I think that's anyone can appreciate.
Yeah, I think that I agree, because we Finns don't really expect foreigners to learn Finnish because it's kind of like a difficult language to learn. But even if you just display a little bit of interest in the language, they're like, oh, cool, how did you know that stuff? Like you can surprise them in a really positive way.
Yeah.
And also about the socializing, it's also important in terms of like job hunting, because like many job posts or many job openings are not posted publicly. So, and you can definitely utilize your networks when you're actually looking for a job. And student time and your time at university is the best time to do that, because you can get in touch with the professors, the teachers, and even some business people when you are doing assignments for companies and stuff. So that's really important.
Dude, like, yeah, on that note, actually, like, I got my first job here. I never had a CV. Like, I still don't have a CV now. And I've been
Really?
I've been working for like, I think close to 2 years, like, and multiple jobs, and still haven't had a CV. And basically, it's all through networking. Nowadays, it's less important. So it's still very important, but with LinkedIn and everything, like, now it's actually, you can get like jobs and stuff via the internet, without having to actually meet people. But regardless, this is like a really powerful skill, networking and stuff. And it's not like you have to like be pressured into networking like today and tomorrow I gotta get a job, but it's like, just chill out, and then like, throughout the years you accumulate something that would surprise you on the way out.
All right, excellent tips. Awesome, let's give a huge thumbs up for Ty for sharing the insights today. And I've made a whole playlist about studying in Finland. Make sure to watch it here, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any Finland related videos in the future. I'll see you next time. So moro.